My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my ranking of Tommy Wirkola's filmography from worst to best. And this video will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But nobody really talks about this guy, and I feel like they should. He has a couple stinkers here, and he hasn't made many great movies, but he does make entertaining movies. His movies are usually crazy and bloody and action packed, and he shows enough potential. Well, I can see greatness for him down the road. So let's begin by talking about his worst one. And it's a movie called Spomageddon. I know you guys probably haven't heard of this movie, but I don't really feel like describing the plot. But what I will say is this. It's an R-rated version of Inside Out and Osmosis Jones, and there was some creativity on display. It maybe has a couple funny moments, but I really didn't care for the story being told here. I just don't care to watch a movie like this, and I thought every character was incredibly bland, and it's kind of a musical, but then they forget it's a musical, but then it turns back into a musical, and it's just really inconsistent, and every single song is abysmal. And this movie ends on a very poor abortion message, and I'm strongly against that. I think abortion is evil, and I hate to see a movie worship it as much as this movie does. So, yeah, don't watch this movie. It's a real stinker, but I'm sure you could have figured that out from the fact it's called Spomageddon. So, that's number 8. His second worst movie is What Happened to Monday or Seven Sisters. The title of this movie changes depending on where you live. I don't really remember much about it. I did do a review for it, and I remember it reminded me of a less interesting version of Orphan Black. Noomi Rapace did a good job, and maybe some of the action was decent, but honestly, this movie is just really forgettable. I remember it was quite bland, and yeah, it's just a nothing movie. I've seen it, I'll never see it again, I'll never think of it again, so that's why it's number 7. Movie number 6 is Violent Night. Now, I actually did rewatch this one for this video, and back in 2022, I believe I gave this movie a 4 out of 10, and maybe I'd bump it up to a 5. It does have its great moments. When the action is going down, it's great. It is bloody and it goes for it. There was a 5-minute section where it turns into an R-rated Home Alone, and I just loved seeing that on display. David Harbour does do a good job, and there's some creativity on display. But this movie also is it's too long. It's too long and too generic. And I feel like if this movie was a title 80 minutes, it would have been much better. But at 2 hours, it can be a difficult watch. I didn't care about the plot with this family. There's not actually enough action here, and I really hate John Leguizamo's performance. So it's a mixed bag. But still, some of the action here is really good, and I like the soundtrack choices as well. So that's why it's number 6. Every movie from this point on would be movies I would recommend, and movie number 5 is Dead Snow 2 Red vs. Dead. And I'll say this. I loved the first act of this movie. When the main dude gets the zombie arm and it's super powerful and he can't quite control it, I honestly thought I was going to get a movie of Evil Dead 2's quality. You know, it's very excessive and it's very silly and it's very bloody, and I just loved it. I really did. But then the movie keeps going and going and going, and it does progressively get worse. And by the time we get to the last act, it's kind of embarrassing. What was it? It was the Russians and the German Nazi zombies fighting each other, and it's shot in daylight in this empty town, and the makeup effects weren't great, so it just looked really cringy to me. It looked like an SNL skit, and it really does drag this movie down. But I still enjoyed it enough just based on the strength of the first act. So that's why it's number 5. Number 4 is Dead Snow. And I do think this is the superior Dead Snow movie. It does take too long for the action to happen, and the characters are really bland. Like, there's the dude who survives to the second movie. There's the person who loves horror movies and wears a Brain Dead t-shirt. But I can't recall anyone else. But I do think this movie is well crafted. I like the mountain aesthetic. This movie does have its crazy moments, and I love how bloody and funny it can be, and it's an entertaining enough time. Not great, but still pretty decent. Movie number 3 is the brand new Thrash. And I didn't check any of the reviews until after I did my review, and I was kind of shocked to see so many people hate this movie. Like, I had a real good time. It's a disaster movie, it's a shock movie, and it's just a really quick 85 minutes. It's entertaining, it's funny at points, it's really stupid. There's actually like this scene where the foster kids are talking back against their foster dad, and right then they happen to discover a check for like $1,500, and I don't know, it can be stupid, and that might ruin it for some people, but I found it to be a positive. And this movie can be tense. Like, as soon as the lady gives birth, and now there's a newborn baby on the verge of getting eaten by a shark, I was locked in. I was on edge, and it got me to care about the movie so much more. I also liked how there's all these different characters, so the movie never slows down too much, and it's always going, and it's just an entertaining watch. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really got too many other issues. I don't think it reaches greatness, but I do think it stands on its own as a solid shock thriller, so that's why it's movie number 3. Movie number 2 is The Trip. And first of all, the performances here by Axel Heine and Nomi Rapace are just fantastic. Especially Nomi Rapace. She really delivers here, and I like how this movie starts off as this couple that's going on a vacation, and she's planning to kill him and he's planning to kill her, and then things escalate and other people get involved, and it's just a movie that's always changing, and as a result, so are the characters and their relationship. And by the end, it's actually kind of a sweet movie about these two fucked up people making it work. And I also love how bloody and excessive this movie can be at points. It just makes for a very tense and entertaining watch. It can be funny. There's one scene where the dude's about to get... in the butt. And it goes on and on and on, and it becomes too much. Like, come on. Like, I feel like if this movie lost about 15, 20 minutes, it would have been better as a result. But it's still a real good time. And I love the final few minutes of how they turned this situation into this big news story and then a Hollywood film, and now they're doing fine financially. Just a really unpredictable, kind of nice, unique way to end a film like this. So I definitely recommend it. But my favorite Tommy Wirkola movie is Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. And I know lots of people hate this movie, but I've always loved it. It's just a silly, absurd movie, and I love the fact it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it still has stakes and it still has tension. Jeremy Renner and Gemma Arterton do a great job, but Famke Janssen steals the show. She's terrific as the main villain, and the witch design here is awesome. Like 10 out of 10. The best witch designs in any movie ever. I love how bloody it is. It can be really funny. There's like a few side characters and a few side plots that kind of slow the movie down, but I still love it. And the production design is really cool. And I also love the fact they gave Hansel diabetes. So, yeah, I don't really have much else to say, but it's a great time. I recommend. I should mention the climax is awesome, and I love the white red knight aesthetic. So yeah, that's why it's number 1. But what's your ranking of Tommy Wirkola's movies? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin out.